Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a little bit of a one-off. Unfortunately, I did only get 2 boxes. All my other ones were moved to wave 2, and honestly, I'm not really sure if they're gonna, send them. This is a newer store, so to be honest, I might just go ahead and cancel just to be safe. Prices either way, as expected. To be honest, I didn't expect prices to be insane or anything, but aren't too crazy. Obviously, they're more than the usually when you see like OP-07, OP-08. Now the supplies have been essentially, I would say, fixed, right? Like the supply issue, we obviously don't have the shortages that we used to see in year 1, but in this set, obviously, you have to realize it is a pretty hype set. It is an anniversary set. So there's obviously going to be a lot of hype into it, right? So that's why you might actually see very little supply of it, not because there's low stock, but because there's a lot of hype, right? But there's another wave reprint coming, and they reprinted 05 like 6 times. So if there's a lot of demand, you have to realize most likely they'll reprint it. And they already have a wave 2, so that should drive the price down even more. In case you missed it for whatever reason, what I'll try to do, because I do like doing 2 openings essentially per set of One Piece. What I can try to do is I'll try to find another box. If I can find another box for a similar-ish price, even if I have to pay a little bit more, hey, it is what it is. Then I'll open the one I have. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but OP-05, OP-06, Memorial, OP-07, OP-08, and then OP-09 is right there. So yeah, I do have 2 boxes. I have this one that obviously in video, and then one for my personal collection. Again, if I can find an extra one, then hey, I'm pretty happy to just record mine or whatever. If I record the other one, this one, whatever I decide to do. But hey, just show support, and I will definitely look into that. Because honestly, I did buy a bunch of shit on Black Friday, so that's why I kind of was gonna, which is kind of crazy. I was gonna wait for wave 2 because I know wave 2 is coming, and there's usually not like a difference or anything. So I figured, hey, might as well wait. But I was able to secure at least a couple boxes for a pretty good price. Obviously, unfortunately, my other ones didn't come through, but you know what? At least I got 2, so I at least can do a video and at least keep one for no matter what, right? Like even if I can find any other ones, which I realistically speaking should be able to. I think they're going for like 140, so I think I paid 120 for mine, so it's not like a super big discrepancy. So worst comes to worst, hey, screw it, I can just buy it directly, right? We got Gecko Moria. So obviously this set, again, it is an anniversary set, so I am kind of curious to see what they did special in this one. And other than that, I'm very curious as well how you guys feel about it. Obviously, this is Ben Beckman, very nice. First SR, starting off a little bit slow, but hey, I'll take it. Obviously, this is inspired on the 4 Emperors. It seemingly is the new Emperors, though. So, obviously, that being Buggy and Luffy. I think previously would be Kaido, and I forgot the other one. But I know that Kaido used to be one of them, and his ass, I guess, got demoted. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's like an Espada thing, like in Bleach, where it's like based on strength or how it works. But yeah, his ass got demoted. Like, are they ranked? Is there like a very clear, powerful one? Is there like a number 1 4 Emperor, or are they just like the 4 Emperors? Not really necessarily too much of a distinction, right? They're just like everyone's equal, kind of. Not sure, but hey, let me know. I'm very curious about that. Honestly, the only 2 that I know for sure is obviously Luffy and Shanks. Then I think, obviously I know his name is Buggy, but I barely know him. And then I think that's Blackbeard. So if it is, then I do kind of recognize him. But again, I just don't want I just don't want to be wrong. But I'm fairly sure that's Blackbeard. We're at 4. So obviously, you already know. If they have a pirate show, Blackbeard has to be somewhere, right? Has to be both. Which I always love. Assassin's Creed did it as well. When they did what's it called, Black Flag. You had all those missions with what's it called, with Blackbeard, and then you had his death scene, which was so fucking cool. But anyways, don't get me started. Let's keep going. So how are you? What the hell? So how are you guys feeling so far about One Piece? It's been 2 years, which is kind of insane to think about, man. I still remember when it barely was coming out. I ignored it for like the first 3 sets. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? And then I started getting into it with set 4, which I unfortunately didn't record, but I think I've recorded so far, other than the premium box, which I did kind of get screwed out of. I'm still missing it, actually, but I'm still in the queue, supposedly. But again, I'm not really expecting me to get it. So I'm probably gonna have to just buy one for my collection, unfortunately. And either way, the new set is out, so hype probably for the older one isn't gonna be there. So I can just save it for my collection and just going forward, hopefully not miss, not miss any new sets, right? But I'm kind of curious. So far, 2 years. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about the gameplay? Right? Has it been evolving in a good way? Has it been evolving? Oh, I see something gold. Let's fucking go. I think it's a secret. But anyways, yeah, no. How do you guys see the gameplay evolving? Is it actually evolving in a nice pace? Is there actually like insane power creep? That's always something that I'm kind of curious about. How? Oh, nice. We actually got the Goldie Roger. So I have seen this one, not this version. So that's pretty cool. This is the base version. So kind of sucks, but we did get a Seeker. So that's pretty cool. I'll take it. But this is the gold, like in manga, the manga Luffy. This has like a, what's it called? The gold version, right? In this second anniversary set. Which I've seen some people try to sell for like $5,000. So I don't see it. I just don't see the character being as popular as, like a Luffy or like one of the main protagonists. Obviously, I'm guessing a lot of people must like him if they made him the second anniversary character, but at the same time, I just don't see $5,000. I just think that's so insane. But hey, One Piece did used to go crazy, so back then I could maybe see it like first year when hype was just through the roof. But right now, I just oh nice. This is actually a pretty cool art of Frankie. Look at that. Frankie super nice. Man, I just don't see it, but I don't know. Where do you guys think it will settle, right? I'm kind of curious where you guys fall. I think it will settle around 3K just because I do think it's harder to pull than a manga. So just statistically speaking, it's pretty hard card to pull, right? So there's always going to be that super high demand just in that small circle. And just because it is so small, such a small, like supply, realistically speaking, that, hey, it always will have a nice price, right? So I'm not saying, oh, it's garbage or I don't want to pull it. Obviously, I do. But I'm just saying I'm kind of surprised that they went with one of the protagonists, right? Obviously, not Luffy again because they did it for first anniversary. But they could have done Kaido. They could have done Ace, something like that. But hey, what the hell doing? Wait, so it actually... Wait, so it's not Blackbeard? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thankfully I did say, hey, I think it is Blackbeard because maybe it's not Blackbeard, but... Oh yeah, maybe it's not. I was so sure. Oh man. Yeah, no, well, you can already tell that I am not into like the story and all the characters too much. I have been watching more so of the fights, but obviously more so the protagonist. I haven't really delved too much into like the side characters, but I don't know. I finally think it might be time to start just, to buy the bullet because it's been so long. I've opened so many sets of One Piece that at this point I recognize so many of the characters. Like I've seen them. So I'm kind of curious to see like all their abilities, all their like even characters that I kind of recognized before, like Nico Robin. Like I know more about her abilities just based on the like cards I pulled of her and stuff like that, right? And some characters I'm kind of intrigued, like Gecko Moria. Like he looks pretty cool. So I'm kind of curious to see like him in action. He seems to have like a shadow power. I don't know, pretty interesting. Does seem to have a lot of... Oops, sorry about that. Does seem to have a lot of interesting characters. So definitely something that I think I could appreciate. And something that I could get into is just the length, right? But anyways, yeah, no, super happy about One Piece obviously taking off. I think it's Bandai's biggest success still. So kind of insane if you think about it, obviously, with them having... Oh, nice. We got a Nico leader. Hopefully I can get her leader altar. Imagine. That'd be pretty sick. But obviously, it's kind of crazy, right? When you realize that Digimon is like 5 years old and what's it called? Or like, no, yeah, right. It's about to be 5 years old, I think. And then you have like Dragon Ball, which is even older. And it's already even more popular than those. So it's kind of crazy, right? And it is kind of interesting. And I'm guessing that Bandai is going to emphasize mostly One Piece. And it does seem that way, that pretty much all their attention is going to be kind of divided into One Piece and, well, not all their attention. Obviously, they're still releasing like new games and stuff, but it does seem that they're paying the main focus of their attention into One Piece and Digimon, which I think is fine. Obviously, they think sells, right? Like, what did Conor McGregor used to say? Like, if it makes dollars, it makes sense or some shit like that. It is what it is, right? Obviously, companies, if they see it that way, they're going to emphasize or what's it called? Yeah, no, they're going to pretty much focus, double down their efforts on those, right? And it makes sense, obviously, from a business perspective. Obviously, I am kind of concerned for their smaller games. Obviously, I don't think Union Arena falls there. It's pretty new. I definitely think they'll give it a chance. And so far, it has been doing relatively well. So I'm definitely not too worried about that one. But like Dragon Ball, especially like Fusion World, I am kind of concerned about. Because I see a lot of stores just essentially backing out so far. So that can be a great sign. And obviously, Battle Spirit Saga, just kind of interesting, right? I'm kind of curious to see what they'll do now, facing such a success, right? I don't think they've ever had such a success, so I'm kind of curious to see if they'll alter their plans or not. But again, being a business, I would get it either way, because obviously they want to prioritize this, right? They want to prioritize printing One Piece. Why would they want to spend that time, money, when it realistically to them, like if you're talking about them, like their end cost, it's the same, right? Like the printing isn't gonna increase because you have One Piece characters. Like the ink isn't more expensive because you're coloring a One Piece character is the same, right? So the way I see it is, I think they're gonna start. What I really do hope is, and obviously this is nothing against the current games that exist, but I do hope they slow down releasing new games. That is something that I definitely see as an issue, especially when a lot of their games face issues, right? A lot of times, like One Piece, it faced the stock issue. What's it called? Digimon, it for a bit was going crazy, and apparently some of the stores were a bit understocked. Apparently, it's been fixed now. But when you have all those issues popping up, and all you're hearing is like, "Oh, this new Bandai game coming up, Union Arena, Sandman, or whatever the hell," it is kind of tone deaf, and in my opinion, it is kind of sucky. So I do kind of hope that now they have so many games. I think they have like 6 games now, that they kind of slow down on the releases and kind of start focusing more so on the, hey, let's actually get out of this, right? Let's actually focus on these and let's actually make them thrive. Because what I don't want them to do is essentially just kind of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Now that they have such a successful one with One Piece, and I would say Digimon as well, right? They can kind of use every other IP they have just kind of like an experiment. And that's not something that I want to see. Obviously, it is kind of nice seeing new games pop up, but when they're just releasing, and if they do start canceling, then I think that's just gonna set a bad precedent, right? But obviously, if you're just into One Piece, you're probably like, what? But like I said, I'm just kind of curious to see, because of the success of One Piece, right? Like how Bandai will shift their focus, their interest, their everything. If they'll stop releasing new games, again, that's kind of the main thing that I'm kind of hoping for. Now that they see that, hey, we can actually have a successful card game that has the potential, maybe not dethrone one of the top 3 games, but really make some waves, right? And especially in the trading card game world, it's pretty hard to do that. So I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, it having a pretty strong appeal to collectors, One Piece being one of the biggest IPs for just collecting in general, anime in general. So that has, that cover, that side. And then you obviously have a massive influx of players actually liking the game. So I think Bandai really has something strong here, and I really do hope that they don't squander it away by focusing on too much shit, right? It's like when you try to multitask and you're just like, at the end of the day, you're just like a zombie, right? You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like you haven't even started any of the tasks. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll do this assignment, this assignment, this assignment, this assignment. You're going crazy. And then at the end of the day, you haven't started anything because you're super overwhelmed. You don't even know what to do. So I just kind of hope that it's not that way, right? Obviously, they are a massive company with Shanks, very nice. So it is a little different. They obviously have like a bunch of teams and stuff. So it's not like one person is making everything. But obviously the resources do come from essentially the same place, right? So just kind of fun observation. Honestly, kind of happy again. Just One Piece being able to be that that Bandai franchise game now, essentially, right? Again, kind of crazy in 2 years. It only took it, I would say, a year, realistically speaking. I would say by the first year, it already was that, like franchise game for Bandai that essentially the stores look to try to get the most of, right? So very, very interesting with that. And you will see it too, because they even like Fusion World, for example, ended up really inspiring itself from some of the One Piece decisions, like the fact that you can possibly get 3 hits. That's something that One Piece introduced, or I think Digimon introduced it, but something that One Piece really, really solidified with every single box, right? You have that potential of it being a 3-hit box. You have the potential of pulling a leader, all these different possibilities, making it exciting to open boxes, right? So again, just just kind of cool seeing the history of One Piece evolve. I am kind of curious, have they switched anything up for the boxes? Because I think they haven't, right? I think they haven't switched up the ratios. They haven't switched up the... I don't think really anything. I don't think they've introduced any new rarities either. So, oh, I thought it was, I thought it was something cool. Sorry about that. Got clippy. So I'm kind of curious how they done that. Obviously, that's usually when it happens the most, like the first couple of years when they start changing up the ratios and they start changing up the what's it called, the rarities. They start introducing new ones and all this different stuff, right? But I am kind of interested. I mean, Digimon doesn't really have any like crazy rarities, so I wouldn't think so. But again, just those the first like 1 or 2 years of the TCG, I think are like the most volatile. So I think it's nice, right? We can celebrate. Hey, One Piece is finally out of that initial stage of, hey, is it actually even gonna make it past its first? I think most TCGs don't even make it past a year. So not even past a year, past 2 years, right? I think that's pretty cool. And that's something that most fans, collectors, whatever you are, wherever you happen to land, can rejoice in, right? That the game does seem to have what I would call legs, right? Legs for the future, legs for longevity, just in general. So, again, thrilled about that. Let me know what you feel about this set in general. Let me know what's been your favorite set. I'm kind of curious about that and why. Was it because of a meta relevant thing? Was it because you just like the theme of it? Maybe you just like the movie, or what's it called, the Egghead? I really call it the movie. The Egghead Island thing, so you like OP-07. Maybe you really like Zoro and Sanji, so you like OP-06. I don't know, right? Maybe you really like the first anniversary more than this one, so you like OP-05. So I'm kind of curious where you land. Shit, maybe you like OP-01. If your favorite set is OP-01, that's probably not a good sign. But well, maybe it's like, I wouldn't say nostalgia because it's not even that old, but maybe it's like, oh, it's the first set, so it's the best. But that's probably not a good sign because that means that they haven't been able to captivate you since. So I would hope it's not set 1, but for me so far, from like the art perspective, from my personal experience opening, my personal favorite was, I probably would say OP-05, just because they had that possibility of getting it. I didn't pull any of the mangas or the signed or any crazy stuff, but it just created that possibility, that chase, right? It was pretty fun in my opinion. Just opening it, having that Willy Wonka type chance, right? Of, oh, I might win the golden ticket. In this case, literally a golden card. So I like it, man. I think it's pretty fun. Obviously, again, as long as they don't make them unique, as long as they don't make, like in Dragon Ball, I think Masters, that used to be a problem, that they would give you Seekers, 2 Seekers a case, right? And they were unique. There were 3 unique Seekers that you would need multiple places of. Just imagine how expensive they could be. That Gogeta, one of the ones I ended up keeping, used to go for $200. Just imagine trying to run a deck with that. Like, that's why when I see like super collector gold, this crazy shit, I don't really mind it, right? Because it's not like a base rarity. They're not, oh nice, we got a Frankie altar, nothing crazy. Oh man, this one, this box was definitely not it. I can definitely tell, unless we pull something right now. There's 2 packs left, so I'm not gonna say anything, but it is definitely not looking good. Maybe I should open the other one. Shit. Definitely let me know if you guys are interested in part 2. Again, if you guys show support, then I more than likely would just say screw it, and more than likely just end up opening my other box. And hey, we can just have some fun with it, right? Hopefully we can come back from this, and I don't think that'll be too hard to that, compared to this. Again, maybe the Seeker is good, maybe it's not. It's usually very dependent. For example, in 2 Legends, the Seeker is like the chase card, so could be one of those situations, but I just don't see it. So I kind of like seeing, well, personally, I kind of like seeing altars more than, like base cards. So that's one thing. And nice, we have Buggy with Crocodile. I personally like seeing altars more than like the base versions, but, hey, it's still pretty cool though. It definitely does stand out a lot that he kind of does end up looking like an altar, right? Like the Seekers, just because of like the gold background and all this crazy shit. I really like how they do them. No, it was only 2 hitbox, boys. RIP. Well, you can't win them all. I did have a couple good boxes. I think like in OP-08, I ended up pulling, was it Gecko Moria, the common one, which went kind of crazy. I did end up selling early, so RIP, but some pretty good hits. I think OP-05, actually OP-05, I don't think I did that good. But unfortunately, boys, this is over. Unfortunately, yes, we did not pull a manga. We are still in the hunt for, I think One Piece is the one game that I've opened like a lot of that I still haven't pulled like a crazy hit. So we're still on the chase for that. We're still, obviously I pulled some pretty good stuff. I'm not saying I haven't. I literally just talked about some of them, but again, I don't have that like, oh, God rare or enchanted or whatever blank, right? So we're still hoping for it. So that definitely join me on the chase for it, and hey, hopefully we can get it eventually. 1, 2, we can go to little top 5 really quick. 4, and what the hell? Okay, this is kind of funny. All right, let's do this. Oh, I completely forgot about these. Nice. All right. So to close it up, OP-09 top 5. Number 1 is definitely gonna be Goldie Roger. You already know. I mean, just look at it again. I just think it's pretty cool, like how the gold foil. Obviously, it literally tells you right away that it is a secret, that you did pull it. So it does spoil it sometimes. But you know what? I still think it's pretty cool. Digimon kind of does it as well. The foiling is a little bit different. So if you're keen-eyed, either way, you're kind of spoiled, right? So I just think it looks pretty cool. I really like how it's unique to all the other games. Like usually all the other games the secrets don't pop out as much. I think, again, Fusion World kind of try to do it, but I feel like Fusion World, they're still... Wait, Fusion World is the one that they're like silvery, right? Yeah, so Fusion World, they are also pretty different, but in my opinion, they don't look as good as this, right? I definitely prefer the gold. Then we have Altar Frankie, my one Altar. Unfortunately, this was a 2-hit box, so RIP. Maybe the other one is a 3-hit box, so who knows? Maybe, hey, if you show support, we might end up opening it pretty soon. So definitely should hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely stay tuned. But anyways, number 2 is gonna be Frankie with very unique armor, like a samurai armor. I really like the whole, like the moon thing in his head. I just love how they used to have like those designs, right? Even though it doesn't really make sense. Like, dude, how the fuck does this armor even fit him? Like, the material of this armor would not be that stretchy, my god. You would break that shit. But you know what? It's anime, so who the hell cares? Why is Cloud Sword so big? Exactly. Who cares? It looks cool. Then we have Crocodile. Well, I was going to say Buggy, but it is technically Crocodile. But he has Buggy's head, which I'm guessing he has to do something with his power. Again, Buggy is just someone I literally recognize because of the cards, right? So I think it is pretty cool if I do eventually... Sorry about that, I moved where the camera is. But if I do eventually end up watching the anime, I think it'll be pretty cool to say, hey, that's Buggy. And I'll recognize and know who he is, right? Then we have Shanks, number 4. Look at that. I really like the pose. I really like how the lightning looks. Kind of wish it was more foily, but it is just a regular version, so you can ask for a lot, right? And then, okay, I was going to say, is this 6? No, it's 5. Then I honestly just put this dude. I wasn't going to include him, to be quite honest. Honestly, I just don't even know who he is. But, dude, he looks so much like, what's his name? That dude from 7 Deadly Sins, Bam. His name is Bam, right? Yeah, Bam. He literally looks so much like Bam. What the hell? He has, like, the same hair and everything. Maybe it's just the hair, like, that. I think his eyes are red as well. The tattoos and everything. Dude, what the hell? My guy made it to One Piece. That's sick. And then we have to give a shout out to... It is One Piece, Pirates, and again, I thought this was Blackbeard just because he's in the cover, but apparently he's not. Unless that's not him, but I'm pretty sure that's him. Wait. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's him, right? So yeah, no, I don't think he's Blackbeard. I'm pretty sure Blackbeard does show up, though, in the show. I'm like 99% sure I've seen him. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe they're just inspired with Black Bat. I'm like 99% sure. I'll look it up afterwards and leave a comment if I was right or wrong. Either way. But point being, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying One Piece for the first 2 years. Kind of crazy. Again, sorry for the weird opening. To be quite honest, I am in the middle of packing some cards and I'm trying to make it before they close. So I was kind of rushing through, but didn't really want to rush through because it is the one video. So it kind of was in a weird way, right? So sorry about that. If you noticed, you noticed. Hey, I still appreciate you watching. Again, let me know what you felt about One Piece, right? Let me know what you felt about the 2 years. Do you think that they've so far learned and listened to the community, right? That's pretty important. I think that's a pretty big deal. Have you been enjoying the game? If you're a player, have you been enjoying collecting? What do you enjoy collecting? If you do enjoy collecting, do you enjoy collecting mangas? Do you enjoy collecting SPs? Do you enjoy collecting leaders? Just kind of curious to see where you guys are at with One Piece, again, being a relatively new game, but that shows a lot of potential, in my opinion. This is one of the few games that I definitely do see that potential of longevity, right? Which is something you can't really say for, I would say, like 90% of TCGs, realistically speaking.